Good evening and welcome to News, News and Views. I'm your host, Don Burgess, and tonight we are very privileged to have our lone Paralympian going to Tokyo, Jessica Lewis. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, this is becoming old hat for you, but not really old hat. This is your third Paralympics. The Tokyo Games were supposed to take place last year. Do you feel the year off has helped or hindered you?
I definitely think it's maybe done a little bit of both, just in the sense that coming off of World Championships in 2019, competing with all the international athletes, we were definitely just up on the high and just ready to continue on to Tokyo. And having that kind of delay has definitely been a huge mental game, and just trying to stay focused and motivated. And working towards this goal that at that point we weren't even sure if it was going to go ahead. But then I also think it's been awesome to have another year of training under my belt to get faster and stronger. So I think it's definitely kind of in the middle there.
What have the events been like this year for para athletes?
So it's been very sporadic. So just in terms of the races that I could get to, I've just done a lot of local meets in Canada. So I haven't had the opportunity to race against, a lot of the top girls in my class. So that will definitely be something that's going to be good to do again in Tokyo. And I know that a lot of the other girls were able to travel just a little bit more kind of in Europe, just because it's a little easier for them to get to those that have more of the high competitive athletes attending. So it's definitely been sporadic for each athlete.
Okay. Now, when are you headed to Tokyo, and who's going with you to help lend support?
So we leave on Friday, August 20th. So we're down to the final 2 training sessions before that. So our team will be really small. There's 4 of us going. So I'll be going as athlete, and Curtis Tom will be as coach. My mom, Lori Lewis, will be our chef de mission. And then we have the lovely Anne Lindroth, who is the Bermuda Paralympic Association president. And she will also be acting as our CLO officer, which is the COVID liaison officer, which is the new accreditation that they've had for these games.
Yeah. So already beforehand, we're talking about COVID. How are things different this time around than, let's say, 4 years ago in Rio?
Oh my goodness, the stress of just getting everything organized to even just travel to Tokyo, really puts into perspective how easy it seemed or was in Rio to get there. So like to get into Japan for the game specific, we have to do 2 COVID tests, so one within 96 hours and one within 72. So I was trying to book those the other day, and I'm booking for myself and Curtis, so it's just like trying to keep 4 different time slots kind of going and make sure all the information is correct. And just having that kind of stress just to make sure that we do get into the country and we're safe in that regard. And then it will also be so different, just being in the athlete village. There's going to be a lot of restrictions on, being in your room a lot of the time, just trying to stay away from as many people as possible just so that you can stay safe.
Now, is Curtis getting as stressed as you are, or is he the one that's keeping everything calm?
He's definitely a lot calmer than I am. And he keeps telling me, he's like, relax, it'll all work out, it'll be fine. So it's kind of good to have him there as kind of a just relax and just focus on the racing. We'll get in. It's not going to be a problem.
What's your training been like as you lead up to the Paralympics? I mean, how do you taper or change a bit?
Kind of probably 4-ish weeks ago, we were doing a lot more endurance workouts just to keep up cardio and my endurance that will help with the 800-meter race. And now we've definitely switched, and we're doing a lot more like lower tempo. So like today's workout, I had 400 tempos. And then we're also mixing in a lot of speed work so that we can get the muscles firing and active, as well as a bunch of starts. which is something that I will definitely need for the 100-meter.
For those of us that would include me, what are tempos?
Tempo is when you just pick a steady pace and just hold that for the duration of whatever distance it is. And it's usually about like 75 to 85% of your max speed that you usually do. So like my max on a track is usually like 29, 30K. So we usually drop it down to probably like 23, 24. And that's like the pace that you try and hold for the distance.
Okay, good. Now, your Olympic journey or Paralympic journey sort of started in Beijing in 2008 as an observer, and then 2012 you competed, 2016. How have those three experiences helped build you for this one?
Oh, they've definitely given me so much more confidence in, just my ability to, compete and practice at handling the nerves and the pressures that come along with, being an athlete at such an elite level. And I'm just so grateful for, the opportunity to be able to race and continue to do what I love to do and to meet new athletes that are coming into the sport, as well as, continue to compete with all the other athletes that are still in the sport.
Yeah. Now, I guess most of us would generally think of like is the wheelchair as your equipment, but in 2019 you made an equipment change with your gloves, and you what did you do and what effect has that had?
So in there's so many different styles of gloves that are out there now, or just kind of like different people that make different versions of it. So before I was using soft gloves, which was a mitt, so it covered like my whole hand. And the soft gloves are usually for athletes that are just starting out in the sport, and
But now
they
that you're a
provide.
pro,
Sorry.
now that you're a pro,
Yeah.
that started out.
Yeah. So the soft gloves gives a little bit better cushion if your technique isn't quite good yet, or if you're very inconsistent with the style of push that you use. So I switched into the hard gloves, which my gloves are actually made from a 3D printer. There's a racer out in the US who makes them. And basically, the hard gloves are a smaller surface, and it's made out of like the hard plastic, but I still have the rubber on the surface of it. And I actually just hold it. So only my thumb and these two fingers are covered. So these two are out. And basically, the hard glove is um, doesn't have as much give on a start, but once you get the chair moving, it's a lot easier to hold a higher pace and put a little bit more power into the stroke. So it's definitely made a huge difference for my 400 and 800-meter races. But I still am going to be using the soft gloves in Tokyo for my 100-meter, just because my start is a little bit quicker in those.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. That's probably not an advantage in the 100.
No, but we've done a lot of starts in the hard gloves just to practice for like the 400 and 800. And they are definitely getting better than what they were. But definitely for Tokyo, I'll still stick with the soft.
Now, we've got a clip of you winning the gold medal at the 2015 Parapan Games, so we're going to show that right now.
Perfect.
Set.
That was a pretty convincing victory there. No, who's the little woman that was screaming your name there? Was that your mom or somebody else?
I think it was my mom. Yeah.
Now, how did winning that event help build your confidence?
Oh man. You know, Coach Ken at the time was still Coach Ken. And I said, in 2015, we want to be the best 100 and 200 meter sprinter that we can, because we had the 200 at World Championships at the next competition after that one. And just having, that confidence from him, and, the push to get to that race and just go out and do everything that I could to get across that line was absolutely amazing, and just gave me so much confidence, and just was a very awesome starting point to where I am now.
Now, I went and looked at the rankings today, or the fastest times for 2021, and it said that you are currently the third fastest in the 100. What do you feel your chances are to medal?
So the world rankings kind of doesn't give a full accurate description of all the girls that are in the race, because there are two Chinese athletes that a lot of the times we don't see what they are pushing or what races they're doing beforehand. So when you add them into it, I could be a little bit lower on the ranking, but I definitely think I've got a good chance to be in there, because anything can happen on race day. And I'm very, very confident in how I'm pushing, and I'm just trying to not necessarily focus on making the podium or medaling, just focusing on, my technique, and just trusting in my training and the process that we've been doing. And hopefully when I hit that start line, I'm going to give it everything I've got, and we'll see what happens.
Now, you're doing the 100, 400, and 800. Which of those do you consider your best event?
Definitely the 100.
Definitely.
Yeah, the 800 will be extremely tough, just with the field of girls that are going to be there. But I'm just going to, take advantage of the opportunity to race with such strong women, and, go for a personal best time, and just see how long I can hold in the draft there, and just go for it.
Now, how come you don't do the 200 anymore?
So for in like para athletics or any para sport, there is classifications, so that you race against people of your same function ability. So when we get more classes, they have to take out some races for other classes, so that they kind of don't go like 3 weeks at the Paralympic Games. So the T34 class, which is the cerebral palsy class, there's definitely a lot more athletes coming into that field, or that section. So they started giving them more than just one race at the games. So in order to do that, they had to take away a race from somewhere else. So they took out our 200, which is very sad.
Well, I was thinking because your time in the 100 is pretty spectacular, and it was just like, oh, it seemed kind of strange. You went from the 1 to the 4, whereas the 2 you've always been pretty good at.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's sad to hear.
Yeah, they sometimes had the 200 at World Championships, so I would do it there. But they have taken that out of Worlds as well now, so
Yeah.
I do miss it a lot.
Now, I'm looking at both the 100 and the 400 in particular. Can anyone beat Samantha Kinghorn? I mean,
Oh my goodness, she's just a phenomenal athlete. Oh my gosh, yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah.
I don't know. It's sort of like Flora Duffy in a sense, like seems like the overwhelming favorite in those races against you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's so amazing, to be able to be in a race with someone that's so strong and so powerful, and to kind of be up there with her, or at least in the 100. Yeah.
Now, have you missed the camaraderie from competing against some of the women that are in Europe that you don't get to see this year?
Definitely, yeah. I know we always say, we're such amazing friends and supporters of each other, but as soon as we hit that start line, it's a different story. But it's definitely an awesome, awesome community to be a part of, and I think that just so many of us just want to see, the sport continue and the sport grow, that we're just willing to, help anyone, become better athletes.
Yeah. Now, what sort of inspiration did you draw from Flora Duffy's performance a couple weeks ago?
Oh my goodness, I was bawling watching that. Oh my God, so incredible, not just for her, but for Bermuda, and to be an athlete at the same time as her has just been amazing that we get to represent such an amazing island. Um, and just, watching her journey from, where she started to being a gold medalist now at the Olympic Games has been phenomenal. And, just seeing her overcome injuries and overcome, all the different challenges and continue to be determined and shift gears with like through the whole pandemic as well, and still be able to train and be at the top level or the top of her game. Just absolutely phenomenal, and I just congratulate her so much. It's amazing.
Now, I know with COVID and things, it takes away some of the other things like going out, enjoying the nightlife, or after your events are finished, going out and doing a little exploring in Tokyo and things. What are you going to be allowed to do when you get there?
I think pretty much just go from my room to eat or to go to training or to go to compete. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah. Now, are they gonna? I know, like after the regular Olympics, the they had people leave within like 2 days afterwards. Is that the same sort of rules for the para athletes?
Yeah, yeah. So my last race is the second, and we're booked to leave on the third.
And your first race is when?
On the 29th, but it'll be the night of the 28th in Bermuda, just because of the time change.
Right. Now, is there one thing that you're hoping to do while you're there when you have a little bit of free time?
I think just enjoy the experience of being in an athlete village again and being at my third Paralympic Games, and just kind of make sure that I do everything that I can just to stay safe and make sure that I am at my top form.
Right. Now, for those of us who haven't aspired to Paralympic or Olympic status and being inside the village, what's the inside the village like? We'll start with like the dining hall.
Yeah.
When you go to eat.
Oh man, it's so amazing just to see all the different countries come together. Sport has an amazing way of bringing people together. And, one of the things that I will always remember was from my first Paralympic Games in London. I think it was like the first night that we were there, and we went into this dining hall, and it fit like, it was just so big. And I think it would fit 600 buses or something, this massive big tent, and all of these people there. And we went and we got our food and we sat down and I started eating. And I looked to my left and there was an athlete there that didn't have any arms. And he was just holding the knife and fork with his feet and eating. And I just thought this is such a cool experience just to, learn about different people and learn, you know, about the human spirit and about overcoming any challenge that's put in your way. And just to be a part of that environment was incredible.
And typically, what else would the athletes' village have besides,
Um,
besides this massive dining hall? Are there like game rooms or
yeah,
rooms? Okay.
yeah. There was I think there was a few game rooms, and then they usually have like a watch area, so it's like a big screen TV, so you can watch a lot of the races. And I know a lot of like the different residence buildings usually have a TV in their lobby as well. And then they usually have like a gym, and a lot of like grab and go stations for food as well. And obviously like a polyclinic hospital idea. But it's definitely a cool little, it's like your own little city.
Yeah. How disappointing is it going to be? Like you're not going to be able to go out and watch other people race, basically, or go watch some of the other events.
I think I'll be allowed to go like to my sport specific,
Mhm.
so I can go and watch other athletic events, but I won't be able to go to like basketball or anything like that. Um, it is disappointing, but a lot of the times, just based on what my race schedule is, I don't usually get to go to other events anyways. So I think a lot of it will still be just watching it on TV. My teammate Austin, he is going, or actually he's already over there because he's representing Canada. And so I'm hoping that I'll be able to go and watch his races. I know that we have, I think there's 2 days that we race on the same day. So it'll be great to be able to still be there and watch him compete.
Now, besides the track and field events, were there any sort of other Paralympic events that you like watching?
Yeah, I love watching wheelchair basketball. I know a girl that's on that team, and so it's always awesome to go and support her. I love the swimming too. The swimming is really awesome. Just the different classifications in that. Yeah.
All right. So Jessica, I just want to give you a chance here to say some words to all the rest of Bermuda, how they can maybe support you or send you love while you're over there to help lift your spirits and let you know that we're behind you.
Yeah, I'm just so incredibly grateful for everyone in Bermuda. You know, the support has just been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so excited that I get to, you know, share this amazing sport and the Paralympic Games with them, with everybody in Bermuda. And yeah, I just think that maybe the best way is just to, well, I know that Bernews has all of the different wallpapers, which are absolutely phenomenal. I think they're so cool. So definitely to do that and just keep sending or thinking well wishes, and I really appreciate it.
And you have an official Facebook page for your athletic endeavors, so they can go to that. What's the exact title of it?
It's Jessica Lewis, para athlete, but I do use Instagram a little bit more. So my Instagram is Just Lewis Paralympian. So I'll definitely be posting a lot of updates there as well. I think the Bermuda Paralympic Association, they have a Facebook page as well as Instagram. So I think they'll be posting a lot on there as well.
Yeah, we just had a few more people just post positive comments to you tonight.
Thank you so much.
There you go. All right. Well, Jessica, we thank you for being with us here tonight. And of course, we're always wishing you the best, and hopefully, you know, if everything works out right, you'll end up with a medal around your neck in the 100. But thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for all of you who've been watching us tonight here on Bernews, we wish you a beautiful evening.